on few of the aspects of the group dynamics. So now we will just cover an aspect of the group dynamism only, like when two people are there or like three or four. So there is an like differences of opinions, like nothing constructive is happening. They fight it over, or there is something like up and down, or like too many decisions there. So um, it is said as like too many birds, and they are like too many birds in a flock. So what will it be? They'll be like killjoy. That's all. So how do we get together? How do we form a good group? So we had discussed about the polarity of it. Like we have got a norm of like they are consulting with each other, and putting up all the decisions together, and then like finding out the best of the alternatives. So what is this conflict about? So this conflict could be of varied types. In the sense, it is like difference of opinion of the people around, their educational backgrounds, their experience levels, type of organizations they are coming from. Then you must have like learned over the various lectures we have had that there is biases, like bias from the region where you've come up, or like a gender bias, or then it could be region region bias, religion bias. Then it could be geographical bias. Then it could be a bias with related to culture bias. Then some biases which are just adapted, like which are just existing in the society. Like just today something has happened, so it's pulled down the whole concept of the group dynamism. So I'll just explain a bit in the Hindi because some people are like हिंदी कन्वर्सेंट. तो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट मैनेजमेंट जो है वो एक ग्रुप डायनामिज्म का एक प्रॉब्लम है, मतलब जहां पर हम ग्रुप से व्यवहार करते हैं, व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग इट ओवर इन ग्रुप्स वर्क, जैसे चार पांच लोग हैं वो मिलके ग्रुप से काम करते हैं. तो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट कैसे आ सकता है, मतलब कॉन्फ्लिक्ट मतलब लड़ाई झगड़ा इन द सेंस कि अपना जो भी कुछ हम वक्तव्य देते हैं ना, तो बातचीत करते हैं, तो उसमें उतार चढ़ाव, लाइक वी आर नॉट कमिंग ऑन अ पर्टिकुलर डिसीजन, इन द सेंस कि कुछ मन मुटाव हो गया, तो उसको कॉन्फ्लिक्ट बोलते हैं. कॉन्फ्लिक्ट बाय इटसेल्फ इज मन मुटाव. तो टू गेट इट मोर कंसोलिडेटेड, जैसे उसको केंद्रित करने के लिए एक तरफ सेंट्रल डिसीजन बोलते हैं जिसको हम, और जिससे लोग आगे की बातचीत कर सकते हैं, कुछ काम कर सकते हैं, ठीक है, काम करने का तौर तरीका अपना सकते हैं. तो वो जो है कन्फ्लिक्ट होने की वजह से, मन मुटाव होने की वजह से मतलब डिफ्लेक्ट हो जाता है, ग्रुप के जो व्यवहार से अलग हो जाता है, और फिर अपना जो प्रोजेक्ट है करना है, कुछ काम करना है, वक्त से करना है, पूरा करना है, तो वो सब वैसा का वैसा ही धरा का धरा रह जैसा. तो वी हैव टू कंट्रोल दिस aspect of conflict. Okay, so there are various tools, मतलब बहुत से तौर तरीके जैसे conflict जो है कम कर सकते हैं. काफी लोग जो है जैसे लीडरशिप स्टाइल की तरह है, ग्रुप डायनामिज्म का जो तरीका है, मतलब छोटा ग्रुप है तो उससे conflicts जो है कम होंगे, जैसे बोलते हैं. तो हायरार्की जो है, मैनेजमेंट का जो तौर तरीका है वो कैसे रखेंगे, तो उससे कन्फ्लिक्ट जो मन मुटाव है वो कम कर सकते हैं. जैसे बहुत से लोग कैसे बोलते हैं कि अगर with education and experience, with education and learnings, okay, now conflict is brought down, it gets a bit restricted. मतलब पढ़ाई अच्छी हुई हो और आपने अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस गेन किया हो, तो उससे जो ये मनमुटाव के जो तरीके हैं वो कम हो सकते हैं, क्योंकि उसको हर एक चीज है वो अच्छे से बतानी आती है, उसका क्या चाल ढाल है, उसका तौर तरीका क्या, उससे फायदा क्या होगा, वो सब हमको अच्छी तरह से प्रपोज करना आता है. इसलिए फिर वो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट जो है वो कम हो जाता है. तो यहाँ पर एक छोटा मतलब थियरिस्ट है, छोटी सी बात कही है, वो थियरिस्ट है थॉमस किलमैन, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट मोड इंस्ट्रूमेंट. सो देयर ही इज सेइंग दैट देयर आर 5 स्टाइल्स ऑफ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स. So what are the conflicts? It's accommodating, avoiding, compromising, collaborating, and competing. So accommodating, what type of accommodating you will do? Given a stance, say two parties are there, two work groups are there. So what's the group dynamism? The group dynamism, one is in labor, like working, it's on the shop floor, and the other is the management. So as it is, like all the time, there is some or the other conflicts, in the sense it is in the experience aspect, it is in the work type aspect, it is in the decision making aspect, the types of salaries you draw, like type of time you give. So there's so many things which can get you into the conflict mode. Like you will again and again come up to the management, or management will again and again go to the um, a labor like a group, saying that things are not happening proper, or kind of they are not happening in time, or like they are not doing much, and all the time we are only doing the work. It happens. So here, like how to get that things totally properly done, like it is reflective, because it is reflective on the company's profile, it is reflective on the social concerns, it is reflective on the share prices, on the consumerism. So finally what they do is they accommodate to each other. Fine, I do not complain about them. What is happening, it is okay, fine, it is doing very well. So everything which is like dominant, it is made dormant. It is बोलते हैं ना सुप्त, मतलब कोई भी चीज को जैसे ऊपर पनपने नहीं देते. They are all accommodating to each other, like they are just fixing in the space given to them. So I think what is the aspect of it? The aspect is that we have to accommodate, we have to adjust to the company's environment, whatever has been given to us. Finally, what it is, like everything is not on a silver platter. For everything, we have to accommodate, adjust. Then only it will happen that everybody gets their share of plate. So this is how. So they accommodate. Now, in this concept of accommodating, there could be some advantages. Advantages कैसे होगा? Accommodate करोगे तो सबको खाने पीने को मिल जाएगा. Accommodate करोगे तो ज्यादा लड़ाई झगड़ा नहीं होगा. जो चीजें मतलब कंसिस्टेंटली चल रही हैं बराबर, तो उसमें कुछ भी गड़बड़ नहीं होगी. देयर वुड बी नो लाइक splits, or there could be lockdown if you suppose it goes to like a bigger fight. This is how. So if you're accommodating, the thing is that the continuity of the concern, it happens, like it will take place, and you can get better thoughts later in the stage, like just not rather complaining, but just suggesting all the time that this could be done, this could be done, and then it will become better. So this is how. So it's an accommodating way of concern. But in this case, disadvantages could be if you keep on accommodating, then it seems that management is not taking heed to anything. So उससे क्या होता है, ज्यादा जो मतलब ऐसे बोलते हैं, those who are taking it, like suppose for example like they're working long times, or those who are like giving long hours, so they will keep on taking the bad as. So that is how. So if you keep on accommodating, nobody will reflect on what is the good points, or what are the gains, what are the losses. Like HR concern is totally lost. So here, this is the disadvantage. So we have to better it out. The best of the thumb rules are that kindly please become suggestive of the various policies, or like of the various disciplines, or of the various things, like feedbacks are there in points, like you have to keep on furnishing them with feedback, or like what is normal, what is abnormal. So this is also kind of like accommodating gets a bit more organized. Now we go ahead like further to the conflict, which is avoiding. Avoidance is being done. Now, in the avoidance, this is a group decision making, and in that we have got the topic of conflict management. So we have to just solve our problems with respect to conflict. Okay. So avoiding, what does avoiding mean? Avoiding means not giving a heed. Like something, जैसे शॉप फ्लोर पे पानी गिरा हुआ है, तो पानी को मैं ध्यान में नहीं देंगे, कितनी बार भी बताया है, but nobody gives a damn about it. Nobody gives a concern about it. So this is like just avoiding. It would raise a conflict if somebody falls there, or like that water gets more and more accumulated. So it could damage the other things which are there. So people have complained, but knowingly HR is avoiding it. Knowingly management is not reflecting on it. So then it becomes a like bigger conflict. This is all. So avoidance is a very bad mannerism of a management or anybody's concern whenever it comes to um, taking up the like topic or whatever has been told to you, problems, like avoiding giving a solution to it, avoiding coming to it as a decision, or giving a positive approach to it. So this is so they, what will be the advantages and what would be the disadvantages? Avoiding would, like in this sort of a concern, like where water is stagnant and you're not looking into, everything is like bad. Disadvantages only would be furthering. But kind of like in these scenarios, the conflict is like people come, it's a big group, like in a marketing department. People say for salary, they complain about salaries or they complain about some group of people. So why do they avoid? It is avoided because if it is reflected upon and then it comes to the like the main person who has whose complaint has been given or for the salaries, it is just not possible. Abhi salaries jo hai, it is in my financial statement, it is just not possible. Or the person for whom you are talking it about, like in a negative situation, it could reflect back on you. So I keep on avoiding. It happens in case of like gender biases. If it is done that maybe that person would come and like fight over it, or kind of you have to leave your job. So you tend to avoid it so as to uh, give a like sometimes and later on it will solve by itself. So this is how. So these are different modes of conflict. So you have to see rather like where patience has to be given, where you have to like just negligence is like possible, or somewhere like avoidance. So five things which have been given to you, like accommodating, avoiding, compromising, collaborating, or competing it out. Here the things are like you have to better it out, like which type of situation you are in. So here, like if a compromise is being offered, like na teri na meri, like you see 50-50. तो जैसे मार्केटिंग में होता है लाइक कॉन्फ्लिक्ट इज देयर ओके सेल्स पीपल से लाइक व्हाट इज द बेनिफिट आई विल गेट जैसे थोड़ा सा टारगेट जो है बहुत हाई है तो 100 का करने को बोला तो कैसे करेंगे so there then they try to like pick it up okay I will give you some of my achievements some of my targets it's sort of a compromise okay so this is how so or otherwise like in the wages, like the agreement which they make with the management. So it shouldn't happen that management takes the cake or like labor, they take all the money and management is left high-handed who are doing all the decision making. So this is like they come to a favorable decision making. It's a compromise. So for this year, we will keep this sort of a wage structure. For the coming year, we'll think like what is the budget and this all. So now we come to collaborating. So collaborating is like here as a मतलब ऐसे 50-50 का ही situation है, but collaboration. But how it is that both are getting benefited from that. Here you are not taking a negative stance, but your contribution is more in a conflict situation. So it's a better aspect. लाइक बार्टर सिस्टम रहता है ना आप मुझे ये दो मतलब अगर कुछ चीजें मुझे दे रहे हो तो उसके बदले में मैं आपको ये दे दूंगा तो उस तरह का कोलैबोरेशन तो ये जो है कंपनी में भी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट मैनेजमेंट के लिए अच्छा तरीका है ओके सो आई गिव this much for this so it's not just the money aspect which is being considered but it's also the decision making so there then on these decisions whether this could be done because it does happen in organizations where people do pull your leg or there is a bit of dragging even though you say that there is one vision there is one mission or like you say that salaries are being offered and if you do well like come together and work as a team and work as a group it would be good for you but no some people they do avoid like some of the types of decisions or still like they are not afraid of their function they are not afraid of their workings like they would be thrown out of the organization no it's just not kind of possible for me or this is not a good decision or this person I do not like if it is coming from this person I will not take it or like if it has been told that in 5 times it's just not possible for me to finish it in 5 times so company takes us uh, uh, like stance that okay fine it's for her not possible or for him it's not possible so we have to give them some time or like fine if it is not possible by you then we'll send some other person for getting the things done it's just not possible for them to throw that person out so here all these are different types of situations where conflict is there so how to fight it out the manager is in a very fishy situation like how he or she accommodates or like how he or she avoids like or how he or she brings the like compromises amongst them, or like gets into like a bit of lovey-dovey mode and collaborating, like, okay, I will offer you this much, so you would be able to offer me, like R&D and marketing department collaborating with each other. So fun is like he has come and said that product design needs to be like this. So R&D says this is just not possible, it is not feasible, even though you think so. This is not possible. So, see, the marketing department will say, see, this design would look like this would look so good, and so forth. So, if you contribute, you keep some of the stakes, like that. So, collaboration starts there. Okay. So, this is just a bit of different way of saying it, but this is how the conflict is a bit settled down, and kind of the team up, like R&D and the marketing department, and they go ahead with a new product idea or a new product design. Okay. Now, in a competing sort of an atmosphere, let's have a check. Even I am a bit confused. We'll give a, yeah, here, see. In a competitive conflict management style, you put your own needs and desires over those of others. This style is high in assertiveness and low in cooperation. In other words, it's the opposite of accommodating. While you might think that this style would never be acceptable, it's sometimes needed when you are in a higher position of power than other parties and need to resolve a dispute quickly. So it's all English, but how to better it out? Now, what is this saying? It's like being in a competitive mode. Management and worker, they are the best of the conflicts which have been like uh, retold, like to the people whenever we learn conflict management. It is the best way of learning what is conflict particular, because nowadays it's not the scenario, because we try to keep it at the lowest level. We do not enjoy, because if workers are not there, it will be a very funny situation for the owner, because there is no manufacturing and the unit might close down. So worst cases, it has happened that companies have just shut down, and it happens in a closed industry. It has happened many manufacturing units or smaller units. If salaries are not paid in time, kind of like work is too much, so they get like shifted from the company. So this is how. So here the stance which the leader takes, like who's the decision maker, is it's a management style. He's hardly accommodating. Accommodating in the sense कि ठीक है आपकी तरह से चलने दो, ठीक है, तो मैं बैक सीट ले लेता हूँ, पर यहाँ पर competing मतलब नहीं, forcefully he will say this is what is going to be done. ये ही situation is acceptable है, और ये इस तरीके से ही होने वाली है, और इसी तरह से आपको करना पड़ेगा. सो देयर इज नो सेकंड वे. सो चाहे ताला पड़ने दो, चाहे आप जॉब्स जाने दो, चाहे आप लोग घर चले जाओ, लेकिन मैनेजमेंट इसके बारे में कुछ नहीं कर सकती है. तो वो कंपीटिंग सिचुएशन हो जाता है. तो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट सिचुएशन में ऐसे रहता है. अभी काफी कंपनीज में ऐसे लाइक फोर्सफुली टोल्ड, और लाइक they take such a fixed decision making, in the sense they do not change. The workers do come back, and it shows that management doesn't have much money, and they cannot do much about it. Like there is no way to accommodate right now, because they cannot take loans and pay us, or like there is right now no product solutions, like going into a competitor's market and then selling, like getting more profit situation. तो उस तरह से कुछ नहीं कर सकते, तो कुछ एक्स्ट्रा वैगेंसा नहीं है, तो वर्कर्स डू कम बैक. जैसे कि हम और कहाँ जाएंगे, like so this is how. So these are the various ways where conflict situations can be brought down to a normal, or they could be just kept at a lower level, because nobody enjoys a conflict situation. And this conflict situation is not just a worker management kind of situation, but it does happen when like two managers, they get into a fighting mode. Conflict is nothing but it's a fighting mode, where we do not relax at what you have said, or what decision you have given. This is how. Or it does happen between executives. It happens during two like genders, male and female. That's how. It could be for like cooperation. It could be for anything like sales in management teams, sales management teams. They do have conflicts all the time. Like what are the better sales? What could be done better to get better sales? Kind of which product to sell and where to sell. Kind of what is the strategy to be picked up. And similarly, like it's a aspect of the R&D department also, like where what's the function they are uh, inventing a new product. So the design. So there, what is the loophole? Like this is the best of the design. So there, this conflict could arise. Like this is the right way, or this is the right way. That is how. So you have to just pick up on the right of the choices, and it's only um, proper when you are able to solve that conflict properly. Okay, it needs to be resolved, because if the conflict uh, goes on like for a long time, like it is in your minds, or it is in your mindset that things are not proper, and it is like not happening the way you want. So there it could happen that people will get a bit annoyed, and they will start reflecting it on others. ऐसे बोलते हैं ना, चार लोगों से बात करेंगे ग्रेप फाइन में, कम्युनिकेशन में नेगेटिव बातें करेंगे, और बोलचाल की वजह से कानाफूसी करते हैं। ये मैनेजर तो अच्छा काम नहीं कर रहे, कुछ सेल्स नहीं लेके आ रहे, कुछ नया नहीं बता रहे, मेरी बात नहीं सुन रहे। So these all things can be that people will get annoyed, and then they will stop working, और या काम छोड़ के चले जाएंगे। और दूसरा बात कैसा होता है कि जैसे काम छोड़ के चले गए तो अपने कंपनी के बारे में दूसरों को, लोगों को बताएंगे, चार लोगों को, तो उससे शेयर मार्केट में भी फर्क पड़ सकता है। कंज्यूमर भी बोलेंगे कि हमको ये प्रोडक्ट नहीं चाहिए। इट इज लाइक, even though it's a very good product, finally the products are very competitive products, okay, no error products. So here people like कंपनी के बारे में बैड मैनेजमेंट बात कर रहे हैं, नहीं तो वर्कर्स जो है उनको गाली वाली दे रहे हैं, दे आर नॉट टेकिंग इट अप इन अ हाई स्पिरिट्स। सो इट्स जस्ट अ बिहेवियरल स्टाइल, दे जस्ट लीव। जैसे हम लोग ये बोलते हैं ना, साइकोलॉजिकल एरर, इट्स द aspect of the psychology. So it's the first step, they will say, झट से हाथ से छोड़ देते प्रोडक्ट, हमको ये नहीं चाहिए, हमको ये खरीदी नहीं करनी, कंपनी का ब्रांडिंग जो है वो खराब हो गया। तो there then these aspects need to be kept at the lowest. So see that we better out the conflict, and we are as good managers, we are as good task forces. It has to be more inventive, more innovative, that how we reduce the conflict and better it out, in the sense कि conflict होना ही नहीं चाहिए हर वक्त जो है। वोटिंग जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना, यूनानिमस वर्दी वोटिंग है, तो विदाउट conflict it has to go, always it has to happen. So that will be a very neat aspect. So purpose is to keep it at the lowest. Fine.